Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, thanks to the organization for asking me to contribute to this day, the International Day of Parliamentarism. I myself am a member of a regional parliament, as well as the Vice President of the Belgian Senate, President within the IPU for the geopolitical group 12+, and an active member of the Committee of the Regions, which is an advisory body of the European Commission and European Parliament. And from these different roles, I had the opportunity to experience, when it comes to the democracy, parliamentary democracy, what works and what doesn't work. There is no doubt that during these sessions we will hear that our parliamentary democracy is in danger. And this for many reasons. Extremism, war, influence, lobbying, etc. And to be clear, this is true. I would like to elaborate and particularly on the aspect of the role of a parliamentary in the vision of a global village. The key word here is on the one hand multi-level governance, but at the same time simplicity and transparency, integration and collaboration. There is a tension between a top-down policy, usually accompanied by a one-size-fits-all principle, and a bottom-up policy, which tries to take into account local needs. In practice, local authorities are confronted with climate change, digitalization, poverty, media, and are looking for concrete measures. The solution to many of these problems often lies locally, but they usually do not have the tools to solve this. And this is because higher levels of decision making make decisions that are sometimes counterproductive to solve a local problem. The question is, how do we solve this? How do you make sure that on the one hand a global objective and global monitoring are still taken into account, and on the other hand the policies do not interfere too much with the practical implementation at lower levels? The solution here is multi-level governance. Parliaments must take more account of the needs of lower decision-making authorities such as regional and local authorities when voting laws and making decisions. This is necessary because it's perfectly possible that within one nation, different regions or different local authorities have different needs. A good example is climate. The Paris Agreement has a global objective. Europe has translated into a Green Deal with certain objectives for less emissions and more renewable energy, and has drawn up plans for adaptation. The overall European objective as part of this Paris Agreement is then translated into objectives for each country. And this can be different depending on a variety of factors: the degree of industrialization, the population density, the economic prosperity, poverty, social factors, and so on. In turn, each country has to translate this into a national energy and climate plan. Of course, this is not always easy, because some European countries have assigned climate competences to regions, others have not. Others try to draw up global national action plans or seek cooperation with local authorities. Yet, there is always a conflict between objectives and concrete measures. National governments and their parliaments expect concrete measures to be developed in function of a national objective, but without sufficient participation. And if there was insufficient participation, people felt less involved. Concrete measures fell through, and the overall objective was not achieved. And in order to achieve the global objective at the national level, it's very useful to establish a stakeholder platform, where one can discuss with the different actors the objectives to be achieved and in which action measures can be taken in return. And these concrete measures must be simple, tangible, affordable, and very easy to monitor. For example, here in Flanders, a region in north of Belgium, the Parliament has tried to take these concerns into account. From a list of 20 actions, local governments have to implement at least 4 measures. And this can vary from local government to local government, more specifically according to their own DNA. A smaller rural village, or rather a center city, an industrial city, or a port city. These measures include, for example, the planting of 1 tree per inhabitant, or 1 meter of bicycle lane per inhabitant, or the number of charging stations, or the degree to which public buildings reach a certain level of energy efficiency, etc. And all these things are very easy to implement. The results are easy to measure, and they are tangible measures. We can already see the success of this approach, as almost all municipalities and cities are participating and also achieving results. This proves that stakeholder consultation, possibly even laid down structurally, as here in Flanders in the regulations, is useful. Establishing this type of consultation means that no laws can be voted on without first consulting the various stakeholders. And this may lengthen the process of decision, but it does guarantee that the final laws and decisions will be more supported. Creating a support base means more and a better outcome in society. And that's what the democracy is ultimately about. That's essentially the task of a parliament, to ensure through a democratic way that everyone is on board, whether it's about climate or digitalization or poverty policy. Multi-level governance is the key to a better parliamentary democracy. Thank you very much.